Hello, hello, hello. Saturday. Yes. Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Dancing with Us. Yes. Oh my God. So I can already tell right now I'm going to be fussy because one, I don't like everything's falling apart. Everything's been falling apart today. I've been running out of all my makeup and I haven't had time to run over to, I shop at two different places, Sephora and Ulta for my products and stuff. So right now I'm like, lipstick, not right shade. I didn't have time. I went on live today. I was very excited. I was very nervous actually about going on live because I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it. But just like anything else in my life, I've kind of I'm gonna say that right on the air. Everyone's gonna kill me. I don't like dark lipstick. I hate it. I gotta fix that. But you know, like anything else in life, I wing it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. If I get one person in my life, then I'll just be blessed and grateful for that. So that's exactly what I did, and I actually ended up with 11K. So thank you for all the love. So excited to be here. It's been a week. Oh my God. When I tell you, first, so a lot came out in the Diddy case. Still not enough to convince me yet. But I haven't seen the Kid Cudi and Usher thing yet. So I'm sure that, they did a great job with explaining. But here's the problem with this, that this is still, the charges are for sex trafficking and for RICO, and what the attorneys are trying to present, or is that he was he's an abusive person. Yes, we know that Diddy is an abusive person, but that's not what the charges are. And right now, again, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. This is why I always love to talk to people, because I can see their point of view, and then it makes it a little bit clearer. Maybe it's something that I didn't understand, or maybe something that I got wrong. Who knows? But definitely, it just seems like both parties, and I'm talking about Cassie and Diddy, that they were both at an agreement about these freak offs. They did show text messages of her bringing the people here, not here, but you know what I mean, inviting them over and doing all of these sexual things. Now, yesterday I was able to take a peek that some of the text message, there was coercion in it. So when that goes into play, then yes, you're forcing somebody to have sex. So we're kind of leading this into it now. So this is what I was kind of talking about last week, is that we got to give it a little bit more time, because, the defense attorneys and everybody that's involved in this case, they all have to kind of prove this case. So, like I had said, I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, there's a lot of information that we still need to gather. So, until, I think this is an 8-week case, 7-week case, and we're already 3 weeks in. We're going to be in 4 weeks by next week. So I think the closer we get to the end is when we're going to actually start getting more details. So, and that's when I can really form my opinion. Right now, it's just way too open. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But we had that going on this week. We had, unfortunately, we lost a beautiful influencer, Valeria Marquez. It's so crazy because I followed her for a while now, and she's such a beautiful person, and it's very, very sad what happened to her. So for those that don't know who Valeria is, she is social media influencer on TikTok. That was the only platform that I actually followed her on. I don't know if she had other ones. She probably did, but I think she had Instagram too. But I don't like Instagram, so I don't even go on there. I don't entertain it over there. Those people are crazy, okay? They're like, all right, they're a little bit wackadoodle for me. And the only reason why I say that, and if you would have seen me speaking about the platforms, like I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes before, you can understand why I feel that way. And it's because, like, with TikTok and YouTube, now that I've gotten more accustomed to YouTube, though YouTube is driving me crazy, guys, and I will explain that to you in a minute. But with TikTok, the reason I love TikTok so much is because anybody can be free to be whoever they want. There's no judgment there. You could be 100 years old to 1 year old, and nobody judges you there. Why? Because everybody there, including my community, mi gente, my people, we appreciate everybody just going on there and just wanting to do whatever they want to do. So, and I was saying this on the live, I really encourage people to do whatever they want. I don't care if you're 80, 90, 100, 2,000 years old. That would be amazing, right? Oh, not me. I'm tired already. I'm really hating my lipstick. I'm telling you right now, guys. I'm really hating my lipstick. Hate it. I wish I could fix this right now. I can't. But anyways, everybody just wants to have a great time. They want to have a space where they can be whoever they want to be. Don't have to wear makeup, don't have to do their hair, could be in their pajamas. They can be naked. I don't know if that's allowed, but I'm not doing that. But basically, people could do whatever they want on that platform and not be judged. Of course, you're going to have your one or, few people that are going to be like negative Nellies, but I always say, like, if someone says something negative to you, flip it to positive, because then it makes them think. And I love doing this. I'm like a beast at this now. Like, it's so funny because the other day someone made a comment on it, and I removed it. I have a strict policy, and you guys know, about politics. I don't discuss politics, only with my inner circle. But the reason why I don't talk about politics is because not everybody's open to allow for you to express your thoughts and your opinions. And again, that's okay, because if that's how you feel, that's perfectly fine. But what I don't like is that then we're having a conversation, but you're not open-minded to hear my opinion, my thoughts, and my views on it. Educate me to be able to understand. So that's all I'm saying. But so with TikTok, it definitely is a platform that I love. I enjoy it. YouTube is the same thing. I think in the beginning I was very judgy. Because people would come into my comments and be like, what are you doing? Get your own creative and blah, blah, blah. So it kind of made me go back a little bit, and I was like, no, you know what? Because this is not the purpose of what I'm trying to do. And if we followed my career for the last 15 years, and I have people that have followed me since I've started, since it's been 20 years, some of the people, and these are people mostly on my Twitter account that I've kind of gradually moved over into TikTok space, into YouTube space. So I've kidnapped them. But, people follow me because they enjoy my content. They like that it's lighthearted. They love that they could laugh. They love that I pick things that I didn't even grow up on, but because I love the comedy so much and, it's so raw, that's what they enjoy. And through that, they get to see my personality. So and as you know, as you guys are following the show, it's been 2 years now. Knock on wood, thank God. We keep growing. And we keep growing because I have not gone left on my personality and who I am and what I believe in. If I think that's what makes me me. And a lot of people don't believe it. They're like, she cannot be like that. But, people that actually know me and the people that have been loyal to me, my little familia, my friends, because I call everybody my friends. Even if you just started following me, you are now officially a part of my friend group. You are my friend. But people were very surprised to actually see that someone is authentic and they have not changed. And I always say, the pudding, what does it say? I am so bad with sayings. What is it? The bread and the pudding and the bread and what is it? Oh man, I need somebody to tell me what it is. Anyways, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. If you go back to any of my content on any of my social media, the only thing that's changed is my hair color. That's it. That's what's changed is my hair color. And, I may have a few more bags now, because unfortunately I'm getting older. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. But, when you leave your 20s, that's it. It's a wrap. So, not a wrap, because you still make it fun and delicious. But anyways, if you go back to any of my content, even on Twitter or Instagram, my personality has not changed. I am who I am. My attitude has changed. That's what's different, because at some point I was very insecure. I was very thinking that filters are gonna make it better, make me more beautiful, make me more stand out. I didn't have no confidence. I had no confidence whatsoever, and it's not like I go around and I think that I'm this beautiful girl, because I'm not. But I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself back in the day. So that you will notice the difference. And I've actually removed a lot of stuff off my platforms because, I felt I've gotten more comfortable, and it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay that, I'm okay with myself. But again, that's growth. So, but let's get into it, guys. Enough about me. So let's talk about films. Since we're discussing my career, everyone that knows me and that's followed me knows that, I love films. I really do love black and white films. I do have a few that I like. I also I love a good classic. I have certain actors and actresses that I do love. And again, not within my time, it's just what I gravitate to. So, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because President Trump indicated a couple of weeks ago that he's going to start starting tariffs on the film industry. And, a lot of people have come out and they've said, well, if you do this, a lot of films are not going to be able to be made because of the location. It's too expensive to film certain, shows or movies here in the United States, which that I can understand. I don't really have a problem with this. I'm actually kind of excited for this because I think where the film industry has gone we've just become so lazy. And that's my opinion. This is my opinion, guys. I think we've really become very lazy. And I get it, we're in 2025. We want the best quality. We want those best, images. But a lot of it is like green screen. It's all like added in. I particularly love films when, like, let me give you an example. This is a horror movie, of course, and I have a couple of, oh, you know what? And I have another example. um like Halloween, for instance, the original, okay? Not the remake, the original, the 1981 version or 82 version. That's the original with Jamie Lee Curtis, okay? Not this recent one, which was not great, but let's compare it. So when they made Halloween, everything was done with, how do I make the film to the capacity into $1 million film? Because, so in those scenes, and if you guys have seen the bio on it, you'll know, like, for instance, the leaves, all those leaves, well, those leaves were reused. So, and I remember Jamie Lee Curtis explained, she's like, yeah, we would have to paint them, and then we would put them in the scene, and then we would scoop them back up, and then we would go to the next scene, and then put the leaves there, again. The way Alfred Hitchcock in Psycho, how he purposely had to make the blood look like real blood, it's not like just throwing something there. You've got to actually make it where it looks, real enough. That's the type of films that I love, because when you start thinking that way, and this goes even in your whole entire life and succeeding, there's a thought process. What am I trying to gain by doing this? How can I make this better? And how can I make this a hit? Because you don't have to work with the best actors. You just got to make sure that film actually is amazing. And that's the part of it where a lot of people don't understand. And that's why the film industry right now is even harder, because you have a lot of people that, unless they have an actual name on there, those films are not going to really succeed. But I do love that authenticity of the directors creating that magic. The birds, like even the birds, that was, who would have known that, this one thing would have changed the difference on films, so when I like it, I think that's why I gravitate to the older films so much, and to like black and white, because I really do enjoy seeing, oh, look at that mistake in there. They missed that, but it was the talent behind it, knowing that that scene, how can we make that scene into $1 million budget scene? And, unfortunately, we don't have that now. It's so different. And I'm not saying that, the contrast of it is not great. Yeah, it's great. Who doesn't want to see that? Like, who doesn't love that? But you can tell the difference. Even in Jaws. Jaws is like my favorite movie. I can literally be in another room and know what the next line is. That's how well I know that movie. And I literally, one day I did this in front of my friend, and he's like, how many times have you seen this movie? I was like, I've seen this movie like so many times. I know like what the next scene is, and I know exactly what they're going to say. It's so crazy. And I do that with a lot of films that I love, but Jaws in particular, I love so much because there were so many issues on that set for this mechanical shark to work. The fact that it was done on such a small scale budget, and we have what is known as one of the best movies in the world, it's amazing. It's amazing, but it's amazing because Steven Spielberg had to actually like recreate and make that into a great film. Do all those shots so that way it's smacked in your face. So, with them doing the tariffs, I think this would be great in a way, to be honest with you. Because then we have to go back to that mindset. Just imagine how movies could be made if people would stop being lazy, and I know that some people are going to disagree, and that's okay. That's the whole point of the show. I love when people, oh, by the way, thank you for the comments and everything. And I'll go into that in a minute. It's crazy that people don't know who Wendy Williams is. That's a little crazy to me, but it's okay. Google's a beautiful thing. But, I know that some people are going to be like, no, but the graphics are cheesy. But think about it this way. If we can do what we did then on a higher scale without all of this other extra stuff, how films would be, and I think we're nervous about it, or we feel like it can't be done because they have not done it in so long that way. They're used to all of this other special effects and doing all of these other things make those movies great, and that's why they're so expensive. But in reality, the actors and actresses on those sets, they get paid nothing. So you would be very, 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 very surprised. You can hear about a movie making, I'm just gonna throw an exaggerated number, $6 million in the box office. But those actors and actresses are getting paid like maybe $20,000 out of that. I'm not even exaggerating, because even people like that are getting into the business, and I actually had to explain this to somebody, and I kind of broke their heart, and I was so sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry to tell you the truth, but the residuals, when okay, so this is how I'm going to open up the little secret book here. So when you are actually on your feet and you can actually get bigger rows, okay, and not just a scene anymore, because when you're in a scene, you're just in a scene. But unless you have a great personality like I did with Ralph Macchio, when we filmed together in Queens, I was really great with the director, and he loved who I am. He never met me. he didn't know who I was, but we had such a great conversation on set that, I was able to get a bigger role than what I was actually initially, given. It's not like the greatest role or anything because it was like my first film. But I did learn a lot being on film, and that's the magical part. That's why I always stress to people. It's like, make sure you get there early, make sure you're the last one to leave, because you can learn a lot. But anyways, on that set though, because it was a low budget set and we had to use a fake cat and everything, it was such a great experience for me, because I got to see how Ralph Macchio can make scenes better than what was required. Like, I remember in one scene in the movie's called Lost Cat Corona, guys, if you want to see it. But I remember that he was like, there was a scene that he was supposed to find the cat, but he ended up, just doing extra stuff to make that scene work. And it was so magical and it was so great because, you would have had to use a green screen. You would have had to use all different types of things to get that one scene done. So, and it's long. The hours are very, very, very long. You could be on set for like 16 hours. It's not even an exaggeration. It's anybody that's worked in the business will tell you it's long hours. It's long hours. And I used to go on set and I used to put patches under my eyes because I was tired. I was like, I need a smoothie. I need a strawberry banana smoothie right now because I'm gonna get grumpy. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So the residuals, when you negotiate your contract, you can negotiate however you want. I always negotiated that I had hair and makeup on set at all times. Because I did not want to fuss about, I didn't know what type of makeup to wear on set. I didn't know what was going to look good on film. Like, this is different. And I can tell you that even with this, it's all about lighting and, like, I'm not even loving my makeup today, but I'm winging it because I love you guys and you guys accept me for me. You don't care. And you guys are always honest, like, yeah, that's probably a little bit too much. Yeah, and I definitely did because I was wearing a different dress. So I messed up there. But I love you guys anyways. But I negotiated hair and makeup to be on set. I also negotiated my contract price. Because I was in the union later on, you can't really negotiate it. It is what it is. But when you're not in the union, you can definitely negotiate your price. And I don't want people to think that because you're not in the union, you can't get union jobs, because that's not true either. You can definitely get union cards. It's actually easier because that film that I did with Ralph Macchio was a union job, and I wasn't in the union at the time. So I was able to kind of like get around certain things with that film. But you can ask for residuals, but after a couple of years, the residuals starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and before you know it, there's no money. Like, you're basically collecting like 6 cents. I still to this day, and actually I just got a residual on a film that I did with Robert De Niro. But the residual was like 5 cents. That's all I got. Like, and I throw them out. Like, at this point, it's like, why am I collecting these things? So, I am interested to see what the film industry is going to be like, what they're going to do, how this is going to be handled. Because let's face it, honestly, when you put things on right now, there's really not good movies lately. Like, how many Fast and the Furious are we gonna make? Like, eventually, someone's not gonna be able to gravitate themselves from one car to another. Let's face it. Like, we're on Fast and the Furious 3000. Like, come on. what's the other one? I am over all these Spider-Mans. I don't understand why we need so many Spider-Man, Batmans, Supermans. Why do we need... Coño, guapo. Oh man, that shit hurt. Mm. Sorry guys. Um, I knew I was gonna hurt myself with that thing. I put that shit way too close, and this is my computer, my stand that I got at Five and Below. Okay, and it kind of works, but then if you put it at an angle, my laptop completely goes down. But anyways, so, but yeah, how that tells me that there's nothing else out there. There's no films. Like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we remaking? I will tell you this, because I don't really want to be in films anymore. I have no interest doing acting anymore. I'm probably would do like maybe a Lifetime or a Hallmark thing, which is what I've always said I wanted to do, because I love the little romantic comedy ones. I really wanted to always do comedy, but you don't have the greats anymore. Like my wish list is to work with like Meryl Streep, Sally Fields, which they don't really make films anymore. Meryl Streep does, but Sally Field hasn't done a film in a really long time. But that's my bucket list, is to... I worked with Robert De Niro, so that one was a check. I got to work a little bit with Joe Pesci. I wasn't in the scene, but I got to speak to him. So that was a check. Um, but Meryl Streep, uh, Sally Field, I would love to work with Dustin Hoffman. I love Dustin Hoffman. Bruce Willis. Oh, that would have been a dream come true. I wish I could have worked with like Lucille Ball. I love her. Betty White. Oh my god. So, and I wasn't even alive when all these people were working, but I loved their work. I love anybody that, really, really just is authentic and, just really shows their talent on film, especially with comedy. I just love everything about comedy. It just makes me giggle. It puts me in a good mood, keeps me high spirits and all of that stuff. So it would be very interesting to, but if I wanted to go back in, I'll tell you this. So I am interested in watching Austin Butler's new movie. That caught my eye because I saw the trailer, Caught Stealing, and it looks really good. It's a great cast. And it was actually done out here in New York. I was actually not too far one of the days where he was filming, so I could have been like, Austin! But if they were going to do another classic, and that's another thing, because I hate when they redo the classics. I didn't need another version of Steel Magnolias. I didn't need, don't touch these movies. These movies are perfect. It makes me angry when they remake them and then the remakes are garbage. It's just trash. But the one film that I would say, and it would have to be really, really, really close to the script. It cannot be changed, but I would love to do a love story. That is my all-time favorite. It's 1976. Love that movie. It's Heart and Die. You know who would be good in that? Actually, now thinking about it, Austin Butler. Yup, Austin Butler. He would be great in that film. I've seen a couple of things that he's done, and I don't think he's done work like this. So I think him being in this setting would actually be amazing for him. But that's just my opinion. But a love story would definitely be the one that I would say, yep, if we could remake that, I need to be a part of it because it's my favorite, I'm going to say it again, my favorite movie of all time. I love that movie. It makes me cry every single time. I actually did a bit already on TikTok about it. So Damn, it's already time. This is what I'm telling you about. It goes so fast. All right, guys. So on that, I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. So maybe I'll figure something out. I think I have a game that I'm gonna play with you guys. All right, guys. I hope you have an amazing weekend. It's Memorial Weekend. I hope that everybody has a blessed weekend. You do something fun, do something amazing. It was supposed to rain. Thank God the sun is out now, so I'm very happy about that. I hope everybody has a great day. Stay blessed. Be amazing. Bye.